My name is Dr. Alok Khullar. I am the Chief Executive Officer of Gleneagles Global Health City, which is part of IHH Healthcare, one of the second largest groups of healthcare in the world. What we have seen with COVID is that a lot of normal activity that was happening across the healthcare sector has been disrupted. So India gets to get a lot of patients from many other countries. Because of restrictions, all those international patients have stopped coming. Beyond that, the northeastern part of India is underdeveloped in terms of healthcare, like the Seven Sisters of the Northeast, West Bengal, Odisha. Patients travel from there to places like Chennai and Hyderabad for treatment. All that has been disrupted because of COVID and travel restrictions. People are scared to come out. People are afraid to visit hospitals because they're afraid they may get COVID. So that is one factor which has impacted, hospital and the healthcare system. On a policy level, we have realized that the healthcare sector itself is not given the status of a proper industry. So if you have a look at the other industries like IT and manufacturing, the government has made special economic zone for those industries where they get subsidies on electricity, on land, on all the buying they do. Whereas nothing like that exists for hospitals and the healthcare sector. Most of the high-end equipment that comes to hospitals is actually imported from generally from Europe. Like if you see CT scan machines, MRI machines, cath lab, all these are imported, and there is a hefty import duty also that has to be paid. Because all of this is made overseas, the cost is quite significant and eventually has to be passed on to the patient. So I believe at a policy level, the new normal should look at having various policy decisions in which it is made easier for healthcare to be delivered at a lower cost because of subsidies given by the government. This could be in terms of land, in terms of electricity, in terms of working capital financing, in terms of preventing the brain drain of doctors from India. Because if you see, in India, doctors are not paid as high as many other countries. So there's a lot of brain drain happening. A lot of very good doctors go overseas to work, typically in the US and UK. In order to deliver healthcare successfully, we should be able to retain the top talent of doctors in India and also reduce their expenses of getting fellowships and qualifications from overseas through subsidized loans. In addition, at a policy level, I think wherever healthcare institutions are, they should be looked at from a special economic zone perspective. So the cost of all these institutions of operating comes down. I think that is going to give a great impact in optimization of the cost, which is ideally given by or handled by the patient. So these are some of the things which I feel in the new normal we'll have to look at. One of the other perspective is that what is possibly good about this is people have started understanding the importance of hygiene, the importance of hand washing, the importance of covering your face with a mask. That is one great benefit that has come in the new normal. Adult vaccination was almost unheard of in India. So we have seen a lot of patients who have had residual disabilities like lung fibrosis, various clots inside the body. It could be in the clots in the blood vessels of the legs. We have seen patients because of COVID presenting with a heart attack, arteries of the heart. We have seen patients not being able to come out of oxygen and dependent on oxygen, and these have a long-term impact on their productivity and life. So one of the ways that has been countered till now is by offering rehabilitation. So if somebody has lung fibrosis, they may not be able to walk. Having said that, since the disease is very recent, there may be other impacts of the disease which may be seen years later, which remains to be seen. But to summarize it, there have been enough incidents where COVID was diagnosed as an epilepsy. It came as a clot in the leg. So these are atypical presentations that we have seen, and they may have long-term impact, which as of now not enough data is available to talk about. Yes and no. So yes, in terms of learning the infection control protocols, knowing how to isolate, knowing how to use personal protective equipment, knowing how to use N95 mask, the entire healthcare system in India has learnt to do all of that because of COVID. They have understood the importance of segregating areas of the hospital with possible suspected patients. These protocols will help in the future also, because irrespective of the nature of the pandemic, these pandemics are all infectious diseases, and the protocols to handle them or prevent infection are quite standard. But what has happened is 1 year of treating COVID has taught us how to execute these protocols, because just knowing a protocol is not enough. Being able to execute it flawlessly and training people how to use it at the front level, at the grassroots level, is important. Well, if you see a small percentage of India is covered by insurance, if you exclude the government schemes, there are only about 1.4 to 1.5 crore people covered by health insurance. Is significant. 65% of India even now has out of pocket expenditure. That means they spend their savings on healthcare. Even in very large hospitals, 60% of patient spending is actually cash. Only 40 is insurance or covered by companies. So health insurance is a way where people can actually pay a small premium every year and get coverage for themselves. One of the other things is awareness about health. So if you see, India has seen a huge increase in the number of cancer cases, especially young age cancer. So breast cancer is something we've seen a huge surge in young women getting it. Now the screening for breast cancer for chronic disease in India is still at an infancy. If we have higher screening of population for non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cancer, heart disease, you can reduce the impact of total burden of healthcare by doing early intervention at an early stage. Screening as well as early intervention programs, like for example, if somebody has diabetes and they are diagnosed with pre-diabetes, that's a very early stage of diabetes and can be even reversed, but unfortunately has no symptoms. Cancer in the very early stages starts as a very small area of tissue. Typical example being breast cancer. It can be discovered in a screening mammogram, which is like an X-ray of the breast. A mammogram can detect even tumors which are about 2 to 3 millimeters in size. Similarly, hypertension, early stage hypertension can be treated with lifestyle intervention like reducing salt, exercise, having the right lifestyle. Unfortunately, people present with a stroke because they have never undergone a blood pressure check. Similarly, if we see lot of cancers, so if we can put more chronic disease management programs, screening, early stage intervention, managing chronic conditions through the right medication and lifestyle interventions, the total disease impact on the population will come down. 65% of deaths in India are now because of non-communicable disease. Non-communicable, if you have early stage prevention programs as well as screening programs, it can reduce the impact on the life of people as well as the cost of healthcare.